Well, hi everyone, Corey Barker here. This week I've got a cool trick. Got a lot of people asking me about something I had done at Photoshop World last year, and it was using Vanishing Point here inside Photoshop. And I just wanted to go ahead and show this one more time so you could see how cool it is. And perhaps it's a feature you didn't know was in Photoshop. It's really kind of cool way of using Vanishing Point with 3D. So I've got this image here of this hallway, and what I want to do is maybe make it to where I can actually travel down this hallway in a three-dimensional space. Now, obviously, it's not three-dimensional right now. It's just a flat 2D image. But with the way it's shot, with the hallway centered like this, it's going to make it easier to create this 3D effect. Now, all you need to do is go under the Filter menu, go down here and choose Vanishing Point. And inside this panel here, what you need to do is I'm going to go and zoom out. We need to create a grid based on the walls, floor, and ceiling of this image here. So I'm actually going to start way back here in the back corner and just set a grid for this big sidewall here right there. Now, you'll know the grid is in proper perspective when it turns blue. So we just need to move the corners around here until it looks right and gets, there we go. So when the blue grid appears, that means you're in good positioning there. All right. So we've got one wall covered. I'm going to hold down the Command key on Mac, Control on Windows, and go down here to the back wall, the back half here, and drag out the back wall way back here in the back. Then again, I'm going to hold down the Command key and then click and drag out the other wall out here. Now you can adjust the height just by grabbing the center control handles, top or bottom, and then you can adjust it so it fits the entire wall there. I'm going to reselect that back wall and again hold down the Command key. This time click the top center control mark and drag out. And then we'll do the same down here at the bottom. Command key, drag out until it covers the entire area. So now we have a grid over both walls, the back wall, ceiling, and the floor. So once you have that, you're going to go up into the upper right corner here of the Vanishing Point panel. Click on this little menu icon right here and go down here where it says Return 3D Layer to Photoshop. Now we'll go ahead and click OK. And it's going to go ahead and bring it back into Photoshop. And if you're using Photoshop CC, in fact, it's the latest update, it's going to go open up this panel. There it is, the new document panel with the 3D scene size. So it's got these new features here. So I'm going to go ahead and click Open there, or click OK, and it's going to go ahead and return this back to the image. Now, it doesn't look all that different. It actually looks like it's zoomed in a little bit. But if you go and grab the 3D tools, in fact, up here with the Move tool selected, you go up here where it says 3D mode, you can actually select the slide tool and click and drag back and forth. And we're moving the camera, and now it appears as though we are moving down the hall. Now, as you get further back, of course, you can see where it stretched the image because it's creating that perspective of the original file. In fact, if we zoom out all the way there, you can see it's just that image wrapped around those four walls, and we can actually travel down it. So you can move left or right, you can change the perspective, do all kinds of different things, but you can also animate this. Now, if I go down here to my timeline, let's actually expand this out so it's much longer there, and add some time to that. We'll zoom in here just a little bit. Now you can animate the camera. Now that's exactly what we were moving a moment ago, just clicking up and dragging up and down. We're moving our camera view through this scene. Well, if we go into the timeline here, which is located under the window menu, just locate timeline, you can actually set a keyframe for 3D camera position here. And let's just rotate the camera slightly and drag it out to the edge right there, right about there. So we've established the starting point for the camera. And if I go to a few seconds, we'll go to about 5 seconds here, and go click and drag down to bring the camera to the back here and perhaps rotate it back around that way. And then we go back here, and if we play it through, you can see it's rendering the frame, so it looks a little jumpy right now, but the camera's traveling through there. And when it goes through full speed here in just a second, it's going to have a bit more realistic effect as it travels through. In fact, let's narrow the field here. Just go right there. So there you can see, now it's traveling through and it looks really cool. Now we can speed that up by just moving these keyframes a little closer together, and then we'll just do another render through here and let it play through. But there you can see the kind of interesting fun you can have with animating 3D objects using the Vanishing Point tool here in Photoshop.